right, good. Rollith, how we doing? Rocking the bangarang. How we doing, Boy and Smurf? We gotta be. It's been a while since we've done a travel stream. This is episode 5 of Brett's Road Trips and Getaways. This is our first time going international. We've done Montana and Wyoming. We've done North Carolina. We've done Texas. We've done Washington. And that might be it. I might have missed one. But yeah, we're going to Ecuador and Peru tonight. Obviously, I won't be able to cover the entire countries, right? But I'm picking what I think would be the best things to see and experience. And quite frankly, they're not too expensive. I missed 1 through 4. Oh no. Well, I think some of them actually might be in the Discord in the travel channel somewhere buried in there. I could upload those to YouTube though. I still have the files for sure. Yeah. And I'll definitely put this on YouTube for those that couldn't be here live. But yeah, I will do the Speedstorm event after this. This should run an hour probably. So if y'all are gaming or want to treat this as a podcast and just listen to it, I appreciate it. If you are actually going to be watching it and engaging, then that's great too. But these usually run about an hour. Because this is 2 countries, it might go an hour and a half. And then I'll do some Speedstorm stuff as well. So let's get into it. Episode 5 of Ecuador. You'll go check. Noise. Please save redemptions for after the travel section. So, Ecuador is in South America along the equator. That's where it gets its name from. And this is a vegetation right here. All the green is basically rainforest. The lighter green is mountain forest right here. That green. The brown is inter-Andean agricultural lands. So you're way high up there, 10,000 plus feet in the brown there. Desert is the gray. A lot of it's on the coastal areas, but there's one section down here that's desert. There's some swampy areas, near Guayaquil, the Delta. And that's pretty much it. There's some dry forest as well. So it's a very diverse country. The Amazon over here, the Andean mountains here with some valleys, and then the beaches and deserts over here for the most part. Let me know if I need to turn the music down as well. In fact, I'll just turn it on the stream playlist because these songs will probably get knocked out. Okay, so yeah, here's Ecuador. Here's Quito. Quito is the first featured city, and it is the capital of Ecuador. It is actually the highest elevation of any capital in the world, as far as I know. It is way up there. It's 10,000 plus feet. You got altitude. As you can see, there's a volcano right there. Giant volcano. There's a statue lurking over the city, kind of like the one in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. And it's a beautiful city. So some things to do in Quito. Walk around the cobblestone streets in the old town. There's the Teleférico cable car in the Volcano Park. There's also a little amusement park there. You can take a stroll around Parque La Carolina. They kind of have a central park in the city, a la New York City. It looks just like it. It's square, and it's in the middle of a huge city, just like Central Park is. Then you got the Mindo Cloud Forest, which is an hour away from Quito. I try to pick spots that are near home base, so you'd fly into Quito, obviously, and then maybe take a bus or a train to a few other places near a city when you're traveling. I like to kind of group certain regions where you'd pick a city as your home base, and then there's a couple things in the city and a couple things around the city that would work out. And of course, there's the Cotopaxi National Park, which is about 2 hours from Quito. And a lot of these places, because of the geography, On the map, they look a lot closer. But the problem is, you're not only going east-west or north-south, you're going up and down mountains. So that's why it takes longer than it probably looks on a map. Because you're traversing really steep mountain passes and stuff. So it takes a little bit longer than you would expect. And then, of course, you're in South America, so you're going to go catch an El Nacional soccer game, which is a professional team that plays in Quito. Now, all of these cities I mentioned have outstanding cuisine, so I don't even need to put that there. Just expect all of these cities to have great food. Just Google, if you go to it, Google best places to eat near me or whatever. You'll find some. I'm not going to put all the restaurants like I do when I do states in America for this. But yeah, just Google the food places, and all of these major cities have good nightlife as well. So and art museums. So just expect that if you're an art fan. So here's some good architecture in the old town here of Quito. You got the churches and cobblestone streets everywhere. There's the cobblestone streets right there. Lots of colorful balconies. That's kind of the general mix of architecture you see in Quito. It's quite lovely. It's kind of a mixture of Spanish colonial period and indigenous styles, so it's kind of nice. And there's we're still in the old town here, just a place where people tend to congregate. It's very clean. The famous clock towers, of course, and that, I believe, is Gothic architecture, Spanish Gothic, and that was made in like the 1500s. Here's the Central Park, so the La Carolina Park in the center of town. You can raft, you can take a stroll around. Some of these pictures got pixelated, but yeah, there's this nice vegetation, palm trees, lots of places to, if you want to get out of the sun. There's some benches, and there's kind of a aerial view of it. As you can see, it looks just like the same layout as Central Park in New York City. You know, mega city, skyscrapers everywhere, and then you got this giant green area, and that's the big park there. A lot of people congregate in it, and a lot of tourists like to go check it out as well. There's the Mindo Cloud Forest. I had to think about it for a second. So this is an hour away from town. There's lots of bridges from tree to tree. If you're feeling adventurous, there's lots of hiking, lots of waterfalls to check out, river rafting, tons of things to do. But really the most important thing that people do is bird watching. There is 1/6 of the total population of all bird species in the entire world in the Mindo Cloud Forest. Pretty impressive. There's some nice little waterfalls. There's big ones and small ones all over the place. And there you go. Have you ever seen a bird like that? Well, you can in Mindo Cloud Forest. Look at that guy. This is a real bird. It's blue. I don't even know what it is, but it looks amazing. Looks like it's a mixture of a toucan and a bunch of other things, but tons of hummingbirds, toucans, quetzals, you name it. Pretty much, it's like going to a zoo, but you're just out in their natural habitat. And you can only find this bird in the Mindo Cloud Forest. I don't remember the name, but it's named after its peculiar shape. It's got a weird little bump on its head, and its beak is like right there. It's hiding its beak. So yeah, lots of bird watching in the Mindo Cloud Forest that people like to do. Now you can this is that tram I was talking about, the Teleférico tram. It takes you up to a volcano right from Quito, and it's safe. Very popular thing that tourists do. There's another shot. So there's Quito down there. So it goes quite a ways from town up a mountainside there. I mean, you're already at high elevation in town there. You're getting even further up, going up the tram there once you get to the top of a volcano. And there's a little amusement park. I don't remember if it's at the bottom or at the top, but it looked kind of... I didn't want to put a picture of it. It didn't look that great. It looked like stuff you'd find at a carnival. It wasn't like Disneyland or anything. There's another shot. So there's one of the volcanoes. There's volcanoes everywhere. Some of them active, some of them inactive. A lot of people think of South America, they think jungle. No. Ecuador's got everything. It's got volcanoes with snow. And here's Cotopaxi National Park, 2 hours from Quito, one of the highest peaks in South America. I think it's around 19,000 feet of elevation. It's actually higher than the Himalayas in terms of being furthest from the Earth's core because it's on the equator. So you're actually at one of the highest peaks in the world here. And you got the nice reflection in the lake here. There's hiking. You basically take a bus up to the trailhead, and you can hike around, take some good pictures. And if you're really feeling adventurous, do some ice climbing and go all the way to the summit. There is a glacier up there as well that's active. There's a nice llama, because it's South America, you gotta have some llama shots, right? And there's kind of a map of Cotopaxi. So yeah, North Summit, a little over 19,000 feet. There's a crater in there as well. The glacier's a little bit further down, 2 hour hike from the trailhead, which is not that bad if you think about it. 2 hours hike. I mean, I've done that myself, and I'm not a pro hiker by any means. And there's your trailhead down there at about 15,000 feet of elevation, and then the road from the lodge down here. So it actually is a pretty decent setup here. It's not one of those where, oh God, I got to hike 10 days just to get to this national park. No, they actually have lodges and stuff and buses and trains that can take you right up to places. All right, so that was Quito. Next, we are going to Baños, which in Spanish is bathroom. I don't know why they named it bathroom. Maybe it's because of the waterfalls. I don't know, but this is Baños. It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper hit. Not a lot of people know about Baños unless you're from Ecuador. It's a little bit smaller of a city, and you are kind of in a highlands part of the Amazon. You're still very high in elevation here, but you're not going to be near any snow, if that makes sense. So things to do here, you got the Termas de la Virgen hot springs. There, you can swing on the tree at the end of the world at Casa de Arbol. Yes, they call it the swing at the end of the world, and you just get on it. It's safe. You're strapped in on a bungee thing, and you just swing over the cliffside, and it looks like you're at the end of the world. You can see 7 jaw-dropping waterfalls on the Ruta de las Cascadas. You can do whitewater rafting on Rio Pastaza. And they got zip line and canyoning. So it's an adventure town. It's more for scenery and thrill seekers. And there's the breathtaking waterfalls that I mentioned. There's 7 of them. Here's a couple right here. They got a nice stair system built into this one for tourists to get it up close and personal. Almost a little too close. They're probably getting splashed on there. But there's tons of these. They're all over the place. Here's just 2 of them. Here's the swing at the end of the world. Can you imagine? You're on this swinging over this cliff at God knows what elevation, probably 8,000 feet. It's probably spooky for those with fear of heights, but, you make it work. There's also some, if you want to splurge a little bit, which splurging in Ecuador is going to be a little splurging than here, but still splurging, you got some nice lodges up here if you want to go on like a honeymoon or a nice little vacation with your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, whatever. A little getaway, you got jacuzzis and you wake up to the scenery. You got hot springs, you know what I'm saying? There's whitewater river rafting. There's lots of these viewpoints there. These are the, they call them the hands of something. I don't remember what it was. Los Manos. Lots of viewpoints. All right, so now we go on to the third place of recommendation in Ecuador, and that is the Galapagos Islands. You might have heard of these. They are not shown on the map here, but they're out here in the Pacific Ocean. And you can take, I believe you can take a plane there, but I think a lot of people take a boat to get to it. Things to do here. You can snorkel with sea lions, turtles, rays, and sharks. Yep, I said it. You can climb to the top of Sierra Negra volcano that does have a small volcano on one of the islands. You can walk on a lava flow of Las Tintoreras. You did make it, Britt. How are you doing today? You can walk. Oh, I already said we can walk on the lava flow. There's lava flows everywhere. They're volcanic islands. You can swim through the cave of Los Tuneles. There's a bunch of caves and tunnels you can swim through, and I'll show those in a second. And of course, everybody goes there for the world-famous blue-footed boobies and Galapagos penguins. You never thought you'd see a penguin this high up, but yes, this is the only penguin on the north side of the equator. You can take a cruise, of course, and you can go surfing. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm kind of cold, so I'm about to drink some hot chocolate. It is chilly. It's been chilly this week, I tell you what. I want some hot coffee. So one of my coworkers has a son who plays for Navy. Oh, that's cool. They had a good year, too. So here are some of those tunnels you can swim and around. This is a shallow one, but they go deep. Of course, there's a penguin chilling. More penguins. It's just interesting to see penguins near greenery, right? You expect snow where the penguins are, but the Galapagos Islands are unique for that. They also have iguanas that dive into the water. They've learned and adapted to their environment, and they dive for fish. They're the only iguana species that does that. There's a blue-footed boobies. You gotta love the boobies. Yeah, look at guys looking at me. Funny. There is a giant crater. One of the biggest craters, second biggest crater, I believe, in the world is on the Galapagos Islands, and you can hike up to that. It's not very steep, as you can see. It's filled in with a lot of ash and molten rock here, but it's a giant crater, as you can see. And yeah, trekking up the volcanoes, of course, is a popular thing for people to do. And of course, if you're at the beach, you may as well take in the beach luxuries and just relax, pull up a hammock or a beach towel and just play in the sand or get some sunbathing done with the wildlife all around you. All right, fourth spot in Ecuador. Cuenca, known as the safest city in Ecuador, according to the locals. You have no issues there whatsoever, and it is I think it's the third largest in population in Ecuador, behind Quito and Guayaquil. Oh, it's high school, gotcha. And yeah, it's a beautiful city with lots of old 1500s architecture as well. And it is not as high up as Quito, but still got some elevation to it. Things to do in Cuenca. You got the Ingapirca ruins, the Cuenca Cathedral. I mean, there's a lot of them, but there's one famous one. There's the Cajas National Park, Mirador de Turi, which is a viewpoint high up in the city. And there's a church up there that's kind of cool to look at. Amaru Bioparque Cuenca Zoologica. That translates to basically a biopark zoo. In case you are not feeling adventurous to go into the Amazon, yeah, you can basically go in there and feel like you're in the Amazon. And, of course, it's South America, so you can catch a CD Cuenca soccer game. They are a professional team that plays there. There's the ruins, not too far away from Cuenca. They're pretty old. I don't know the dates of these ones, but they look like maybe 500 AD, if I were to guess. Maybe a little bit after that, but you find a lot of Incan ruins throughout this region, and they've done a good job of preserving them. There's there's the Cathedral of Cuenca, beautiful architecture. There's another shot of it. I mean, it's huge. There's just a giant cathedral in the center of town. And here is the Cajas National Park. It's got some llamas chilling, eat some grass. That one's taking a nap. More of Cajas National Park. It's got lots of jagged peaks and small little lakes in between all the volcanic rock. It's kind of a neat little place. A little different geography than you'd see elsewhere in Ecuador. And here's that viewpoint I was talking about. You see all the tourists parked there. There's the church up there. And there's just viewpoints everywhere looking down on the city. And there's the church, a close-up of it. It's pretty old, as you can tell. Kind of a smallish one. And here is a map of the zoo. So you got an Andean region, you have an Amazon section, you have the island section, you have African safari section, and I can't quite read that. I don't know what that one says, but they do kind of a good job of having mostly animals from the region, aside from the African section. But yeah, if you don't want to go in the Amazon, this is the next best thing. Yeah, there's the jaguar. All right, final stop in Ecuador here. We've seen the mountains, we've seen the beaches, we've seen the valleys. Now let's go to the Amazon, shall we? Yasuni National Park, arguably the hardest to get to of the 5 places that I'm mentioning tonight. And you can tell based on the map. Cuenca's here. Quito's here. Guayaquil, probably the cheapest flight from the U.S., is here on the coast. And the Galapagos Islands are over here. Baños is down in this area, near the Pastaza River. Well, Yasuni National Park is this guy over here. Way deep in the Amazon. So as you can tell, it's a little hard to get to. I believe what you do is you fly or drive into a town in this area, and then you take a boat to the lodges that you're staying at in the national park. So it's pretty hard to get to, and actually a little more expensive than you would expect because it's remote. Someone traded in a PSA 10 Holo Gengar, and GameStop gave him $30K for it, the biggest trade ever. Wow, that's crazy. Oh man, I wonder what Gengar it was. So things to do in the Amazon, as you expect: canoe down the Amazon, jungle hiking. Obviously, you'd probably want a guide. You don't want to get lost. And you also want somebody with experience with the wildlife and possibly indigenous tribes. You can visit. There are some indigenous tribes in this national park that allow you to visit them. If you were to go away from a national park deep in the Amazon, they don't like visitors, some of them, and I don't blame them. I really don't. I mean, there's been oil drillers that have come in and wrecked their ecosystems. They're not adapted to the flu, but they're more adapted to things that they would get that we're not adapted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of reasons for them not to like outsiders that make sense. But there are tribes here in the national parks that do accept visitors and welcome you with open arms, and you might get a meal with them. They show you some things. It'd be kind of cool. You can fish, particularly for piranha. They don't want you to fish for, endangered species, right? You can fish for stuff that's abundant, that are kind of a nuisance. Piranhas are a nuisance while fishing there. Why? Because they cut your fishing line. The teeth are so sharp. And piranhas are attracted to dead fish or struggle. They're not attracted to live stuff. So obviously your bait is going to have something dead on it, so the piranhas are going to go ham. So nobody likes fishing for stuff other than piranhas in the Amazon because they're such a nuisance. You got to get through them first. Of course, you get a wildlife experience, and you can do a canopy exploration. There's some of the lodges you can stay at. So you're right off the river there, and you're going to be more protected in these than just a hammock in the middle of the Amazon where God knows what can get you. There's some canoeing people. Lots of waterfalls to look for in the Amazon, of course, and Yasuni National Park as well. All right, honorable mentions for Ecuador. Montañita Beach, one of the best beach towns in Ecuador. It's known for its nightlife and, of course, surfing and just total beach vibes. I wanted to do 5 for Ecuador, not 7, so I did not include that. Or Guayaquil, which is the biggest city in Ecuador. Unfortunately, it's one of the most dangerous cities in Ecuador. And quite frankly, I think you'd have more bang for your buck in the other cities. Now let's travel down to Peru, which is right by Ecuador. That's why I'm combining the two. You could make this all in one bucket list trip. Because why fly to this region twice when you can fly there once, right? So here is the vegetation of Peru. It is 69% rainforest. I did not make up that number, but that is a good Twitch number. That's all the green you see here. The coast is all in the yellow, the Pacific coast, to be specific. It's got a lot of Andean highlands in the brown and the white. Especially the white is going to be really high up there. And it's got lots of valleys as well. So that's kind of the vegetation. You got the Amazon up here, this chain of rivers here. And Lake Titicaca, one of the largest, it is the largest lake in South America. It is also the highest elevated navigable lake in the world. So let's go to our first stop in Peru, and that is, of course, the world famous Machu Picchu and Cusco. It is interesting, yes. I didn't know that about it. Machu Picchu has been on my bucket list for a long time now, ever since I saw it on Ancient Aliens. But even then, it looks fascinating. Lots of good old Spanish architecture in Cusco. And Machu Picchu is a old indigenous city built way into the mountainside that's very hard to get to. The Incan people actually have small feet biologically, and it's because it helps them navigate the tough terrain. They say that the small feet help with their balance and climbing and traversing these mountainsides here, and they were able to build these towns way high up in the mountains. It's incredible. So where is Machu Picchu in Peru? It's right here. It's this orange square. Cusco's right here, so they're not right by each other. That's why I'm combining the two into this general region here. So it's in kind of southeastern Peru. And things to do here, of course, Machu Picchu, which is a 3 to 4 hour train ride from Cusco. You can take a bus to a different town and then take a train, or you could do bus and bus. By far the quickest, though, is the non-stop train from Cusco. And it's about 3 to 4 hours in general. And it's probably a pretty scenic train ride, too. So, yeah, you're already getting that for your money, is the train ride, right? My heartburn's killing me now. Oh, sorry to hear that, Bailey. I don't know how to say this correctly, but I'm going to try to take a stab at it. Sacsayhuaman. It's ruins. It's a ruin site in Cusco, or nearby anyway. You got Plaza de Armas in Cusco, the big cathedral, and Rainbow Mountain, which is about 5 to 6 hours from Cusco. Most of that is going up and around mountains. On a map, it's actually pretty close, but I got to put it in this region because it's not near the next region. So here's Sacsayhuaman, whatever that word was. Sacsayhuaman. It's very old. They say that it was built in like 200 AD, and you cannot fit a piece of paper in between those creases. It's built so tight and snug. They obviously had technology that we don't have right now if they were able to accomplish this. These stones are really heavy, too. And nobody understands why this site was made either. It's also using a type of rock that is found miles and miles away from the site. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense how they got the rocks here. There's a couple of examples of sites like this in Peru and Bolivia. It's a mystery. We're still figuring things out. Hey, Hard Hit, how we doing? Yep, by hand too, exactly. Well, that's what they say. They might have had some sort of tool that was able to accomplish this, but pretty impressive. And there's an aerial shot of it. So it's a pretty huge site. I imagine if you were to dig further down, you'd find even more stuff. But yeah, pretty massive. Not too far away from town as well. As you can see, the town's over there. But yeah, there's a lot going on there. And there's Machu Picchu, of course, deep in the Andean mountains, way up there. It's almost like they carved the mountain itself to put in their city. Very impressive. There's another shot of it, a pixelated picture that is. You can walk through some of the rooms. How many people do you think passed away while building these monuments? Probably a lot, I imagine. Well, maybe, I don't know, they were a different breed. Maybe nobody. They were built a little different back then. Just people in general. And if you don't feel like taking the bus up to Machu Picchu, you can take the stairs. Don't look down, though, because it's a long ways down at the bottom. Just several thousand feet, no big deal. And there's the cathedral in Cusco. Beautiful, beautiful place. It's probably where Cusco, the llama on Emperor's New Groove, is supposedly lived. There's inside the cathedral lots of gold. So it was a wealthy church back then to make such designs, with gold. Pretty impressive. And here's the Plaza de Armas. There's a lot of Plaza de Armas throughout the world. Lots of cities have their own, but this is Cusco's. It's just the center of town. It usually refers to an armory, but I don't see any armories anywhere. A couple of cathedrals, a couple of museums. There's a fountain in the middle. More architecture here. I think this is actually one of the museums. It is. So they did head binding, some of the indigenous groups in rural Peru did head binding. And the theory was that we think that if you expanded your head, your brain had more room to grow. And it makes sense. You know, your brain could get bigger and bigger if you elongated your head. So they did head binding as a practice. So I'm not surprised to see an exhibit for that in this museum. There's an Incan museum in town in Cusco that would be fascinating to go to. Lots of, cave markings. I'm sure there's all kinds of artifacts in here. I bet you this is an amazing museum to go to. Here's Rainbow Mountain. So you guys were wondering, why the hell did you have a place that's 5 to 6 hours away from Cusco? I don't want to go that far. Well, maybe now you do, because this is where you're going to. This is Rainbow Mountain. It's literally looks like a rainbow. So because of climate change and receding glaciers, this used to be all under ice, and now the ice is receded and melted. So it's exposed what was underneath. So now people have just discovered this. It's just a bunch of mineral deposits that create these colors, all kinds of different mineral deposits. And it's pretty amazing to see. Don't they still make it? It's so pretty. Oh, I meant to say that looks so pretty. Yeah, this would be worth the 5-hour trip for sure. All right, the next place we're going to in Peru. This is probably my favorite, the Southern Peru Loop, I'm going to call it, because you're not going to want to stay in one town. You're not going to want to stay in one area. You're going to want to make the loop. And I'll show you what that loop is here in a second. But basically, to get your bearings, from Ecuador, you would probably fly to Lima and then fly to Cusco. Well, you do Lima, and then you would fly to Cusco. And then you would do your Southern Peru itinerary. So it goes like this. You go to Lake Titicaca. Whoops. And then you go to Arequipa. Then you go to Nazca. And then you make your way back to Lima. And then you'd probably fly home. So that would be your Peru loop, basically. But that is the Southern Loop, starting from Cusco. Or you could just make your home base at Arequipa. That would work too, because you go this way, and then you can go that way. That'd be kind of like a nice central location. But there's an oasis right there in the bottom left corner, and there's one of the Nazca lines there. Things to do. There are tons of things to do in this region. But the top 5, sandboarding in Huacachina. Visit and fly over the Nazca lines, which are probably the biggest mystery in the world. You can just go to Lake Titicaca, as I was saying, the highest lake in the world. And you can hike Colca Canyon and visit the stone city that is Arequipa. Everything in the town was made of volcanic rock. So here's kind of what I was talking about. You could either make your home base in Arequipa. They do have an airport. You can go this way, 7-hour to Lake Titicaca. And then you can go this way. You can go hit up the Colca Canyon, then make your way to the Nazca lines, and all the other stuff, maybe a couple of coastal towns on the way. There's Lake Titicaca. It's got a lot of floating reed islands. And fun fact, there is a freshwater seahorse species that lives in this lake. I don't know why. I don't know how. But just trust me, there's a freshwater seahorse. Keyword there, seahorse. So was this part of the sea at one point? I don't know. Maybe during the Great Flood, the seahorses couldn't escape when the water receded. I don't know what happened. But there's a seahorse species that lives here. And there is a nice viewpoint. It's a huge lake. Lots of small villages surround the lake as well. But there is one decent-sized city nearby. I think Puno is the name of it. Here's the Colca Canyon. So you're getting a little bit different vegetation here and different landscape. It kind of looks like the Grand Canyon in a way, and Zion National Park in Utah. It's a little more deserty. It's like a mountainous desert biome. You got some cactuses here. And there's a waterfall in Colca Canyon here. And now we're at the Nazca Lines. This is one of my favorites. This is the little man saying hello up there. I have no idea why these were built, but they obviously were trying to talk to people in the air. Because who are we waving at? I don't know who we're waving at, but we're waving at somebody. And how did they somebody had to been telling them what to do. This thing's like a mile long. Somebody was telling them, all right, you go to the left here. Nope, right there. Okay, you're good. Making it straight lines and stuff. Like, there had to have been somebody giving directions, right? From above. It's very mysterious. Here's the hummingbird. These are just carved into the landscape. And there's lots of weird lines. Some people think these were airport runways. There's a lot of theories about the lines, but here's the hummingbird. Perfect design too, by the way. Like, you cannot see it. There's no overlap. It's just one continuous shape. It's impressive. And now here's a YouTube video that we can go to. I will exit and we can go watch this. It's a video of the Nazca Lines. We got to watch an ad first. It's a guy that flies over it. This sponsored by Viator, this stream. No, it's not, but we got to say that.
Nazca, Peru, one of the most desolate places on the planet. We're going to jump in this little plane, fly above, and check out
the bucket list thing for me, for sure.
Nazca Lines. All right, here we go. So this flight is about 1 hour and 45 minutes. It's a pretty big area of how much there is to see. In this little map here,
they give you a map of all the shapes, where they are.
The spider, and nobody quite knows how they were built. It's a total mystery.
We're getting pretty close now. I think we're about 10 minutes away from the actual Nazca line.
And this is in the desert biome of Peru.
It's so cute. Look at him. This is so much fun. He actually banks the airplane pretty tight, so you can actually see out the window. You're just flying right above it.
So they're huge. You gotta see them from the sky.
So while the creation of the Nazca Lines remains a mystery,
there's the monkey.
Experts believe that they are created between 400 and 650
hummingbird again.
AD. So they're really old, but they're in pristine condition.
There's a lot of theories as to why the Nazca people created these things. Some of them are mathematical, some of them are astrological, some of them we just don't know.
They were made around 200 to 500 AD.
And something I've never before seen in my life. It is certainly worth the trip from Lima.
Pretty amazing. All right, we'll get back to the slideshow here. All right, and this is Oasis Town that you can go to near the Nazca Lines, so that you'd probably want to stay in a hostel or a hotel here, but just a beautiful little oasis. Oasis is real. Like, everybody thinks that they're a myth, that you never heard of such a thing, but they actually are real. And here's an example of one right here. Forget what the name of this one is. I think it was on that Things to Do. Huacachina, I believe, is what this place is called. And you can sandboard. Lots of sand dunes nearby that you can sand. A lot of people like enjoying sandboarding and using the buggies, the dune buggies. So we got another video here of that to show you what I mean by that. They're large enough to where you can legit go down them for a long period of time.
Grammarly helps me get
This will be the last video of the. Everything else will be info and pictures from now on. Oh yeah, because I was watching it earlier. I didn't rewind. But yeah, look at this. Just lots of sand dunes to explore in Huacachina. Beautiful town. I mean, I would love to live in a town that looked like that. Pretty badass looking. I'd want it to be a little larger though. Look at that. Cruising down on the sandboards. It looks like the Sahara Desert. I bet you didn't know that this was in Peru. Never know what you're going to learn on Brett's road trips and getaways. Looks like the Sahara out there. It's very hot, not much rain in this region of Peru, unlike the Amazonian side and the mountainous side. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, that should be the last time we have to go away from the stream. All right, what is this? Oh, this is Arequipa. So they got a Plaza de Armas in the center of town as well. And there's a volcano lurking over in the shadows of the town. It's a pretty scenic town. This is the town that is built entirely of like volcanic rock. They call it White City. And that was the last of that. So now we're going to the northern side. Chachapoyas in northern Peru. So Chachapoyas is not shown on the map here, but it's going to be kind of, I believe, in this area. Right in here. You're still kind of in the highlands, but you're getting a little bit closer to the jungle. Things to do here, Gocta Falls. Standing at 2,530 feet tall. One of the highest waterfalls in the world, and that is the main attraction and why we're going to this area. They also have the Mirador, La Goya, and Cuelap Fortress. And there it is. There is the majesty, the majestic waterfall itself, Gocta Falls. Over 2,500 feet tall. It is a beast. And you can see it from this nice little resort by the looks of it. Fancy little resort if you want to splurge. Lots of indigenous artifacts throughout the towns up here. And there's ruins as well. Here's the Mirador viewpoint. There's a lot of viewpoints like this in this region. If you were to pull up Google Maps of that town I mentioned earlier, I think it was Cochinchina, you'll just see a lot of these. More ruins. And now the big city, Lima, the capital of Peru. This is known as one of the culinary leaders of the world, one of the best cuisine cities in the world right here, Lima, Peru. And it is a mega city on the Pacific coastline. And there it is right there, in case you couldn't find it on the map. So we're on the beach side now. Ended up having to take Alka-Seltzer, couldn't handle the heartburn. I'm surprised they haven't eroded or lost its design with the weather change. Oh yeah, the Nazca lines, yeah. They've preserved because they don't get rain there at all, and it's just dry all the time. I am surprised that the wind hasn't eroded much of it though as well. Jasper and Horace, how we doing? Things to do in Lima. Obviously the Lima world famous cuisine. They got sushi. They got just seafood, crabs and all that stuff, shrimp. They got Chinatown. that has a bunch of Chinese restaurants. They got burger place. They got everything in Lima. Larco Museum, the Miraflores Boardwalk, which takes you along the Pacific coast there. The Barranco District, which is an art district. Anybody that likes street art, murals, or colors, you're going to like that district. Huaca Pucllana Ruins is nearby. And then, of course, just surfing or chilling on the beach. So here's the center of town in Lima, Old City. You can actually, if you time your visit right, you can see the changing of the guards at the palace, similar to what you would see in London. And here's Barranca District, all the street art and colors everywhere. Give a little tropical feel to it. All the buildings, different colors. You see orange, purple, teal, red, blue. You just got everything in Barranca. Oh, just the food variety I'm interested. Yeah, Lima's a great food city. To be honest, Quito, Cuenca, and Cusco all have great food options as well, but Lima tops it all for sure. Part of that boardwalk, you can find this lighthouse on the trail. I'm good. Finally got Mickey to level 50 with a supercharge. It's my first level 50 race. Oh, nice. That's exciting. He's one of, I think, 2 supercharged I have. I don't have very many. A lot of them are knocking on the door, though. And there's an aerial view of that boardwalk that follows the Pacific Ocean. They do have a highway that goes below it. But it's nice that this boardwalk is a little elevated to give you better views of the ocean. And it's very well preserved. As you can see, the vegetation's very clean. They take very good care of the landscaping here. And it just seems like a peaceful little walk. I'm sure there's lots of cute shops to shop at and restaurants along the boardwalk as well. There's the ruins I mentioned earlier. These are very peculiar ruins. It almost looks like it's made of sand, and it's very small steps, and I'm surprised they haven't been eroded. But yeah, the interesting set of ruins there, and it's right in town. Here's that museum I was talking about. Lots of heads and pottery here, it looks like, in this corner of the museum. You'll probably see a lot of Incan history in a lot of these museums. And there's the beach, just a random shot of the beach in Lima. A couple of resorts right on the water there. Honorable mentions for Peru: the Manu National Park up in the Amazon, and Iquitos, a decent-sized city in the Amazon. But both of these are rather hard to get to in Peru, so I did not provide a lot of information about those. And that's it, chat. That is episode 5 of Ecuador and Peru. We did it. We actually went under time. I thought I'd go over an hour, but we did pretty good here. So what do you think, chat? Which was your favorite region? Which town are you guys eyeing right now?